सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यप्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्तवेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यदिति मे निश्चिता मतिः। Page 85, last paragraph, fourth line from the bottom, middle of the paragraph. Topic 149, middle. अतो रज्ज्वाद्युपहितचैतन्यमेव सर्पाद्यधिष्ठानं न रज्ज्वाद्यचेतनं रज्जुविशिष्टचैतन्यस्य अधिष्ठानत्वाङ्गीकारे उभयोः रज्जोश्चैतन्यस्य च अधिष्ठानत्वं भवेत्। तत्र रज्जोरधिष्ठानत्वस्य बाधितत्वात् रज्जूपहितचैतन्यमेव अधिष्ठानं न तु रज्जुविशिष्टचैतन्यम्। Nischala, the author of Vicharasagara, talking about anirvachaniya khyati of Advaitin. This anirvachaniya khyati is talking about the erroneous perception, how it happens. Adhyasa is called erroneous perception. This erroneous perception, it's a mechanism. The tradition presents in this manner, that is, after negating anyatha khyati, asat khyati, atma khyati, akhyati of other systems of philosophies, they also talk about erroneous perception. We have negated them. Now, how Advaitin looks at erroneous perception? Why we have to study this erroneous perception? I said, Ajnani, samsari, has got erroneous perception towards this universe. That erroneous perception alone, adhyasa alone, wrong perception towards the world alone is the cause for samsara. Therefore, the one who wants to be free from samsara, he or she has to come out of that erroneous perception, that wrong vision, wrong perception towards the world, towards Ishvara, towards oneself. One has to come out. What is this erroneous perception I am having towards the world, God and Ishvara? I am not able to understand. Vedānta gives an example for that erroneous perception. Erroneous perception is like this. Good old example, Rajju Sarpa Drishtanta. By giving that example of Rajju Sarpa, Shukti Rajata, Shastra driving us towards that Dashtanta, later, very much later, you understand how this my perception towards me, world, Ishvara is a wrong perception. We understand. For that we have to travel a lot. We are all traveling here and there. Internal tours and Europe tour, outside tour, we are traveling. But Shastra is asking enough of traveling outside. You can travel here along with me, the Shastra. That is the ultimate travel. Jivana Yatra. We call it, this is also Yatra. What Yatra? This is not any Dirtha Yatra. This is Jivana Yatra or Jiva Yatra. Yatra of this Jiva, the travel of this Jiva, where this Jiva is traveling, where he is going, are he going or not at all this you have to understand. Therefore, you have to understand Anirvachaniya Khyati. For Moksha, this Anirvachaniya Khyati Jnanam is not compulsory. We say it is compulsory. Those who are very much interested in deep study of Vedanta, for them only Vicharasagara. I will repeat once again. If you don't understand Vicharasagara, if you don't study Vedanta, Vicharasagara, you will get moksha by studying other Prakaraṇa-granthas, Upaniṣads, Bhagavadgītā. We are not telling that. Vicharasagara, if you study, if you understand only, you will get moksha. We are not telling. But the students like you who are very much interested in Shastra, deep interest, not lukewarm interest, deep interest, intense interest in Shastra to study its depth, for them only the Vicharasagara. If you consider yourself as that intense seeker of Shastra, intense seeker of Shastra Jnanam, you can continue this Vicharasagara class. You must be ready for that. After coming to this text, why this text is so hard, so difficult, so many technical terms, we should not question. The text is like that. It is highly technical, and a lot of things are discussed here in this text. So remember, this is for those students who are having intense desire to know the in-depth of Shastra. For them only this text is relevant. Therefore, now I will enter into our format. What is our format? I want to consolidate. Since it is very tough, little technical, we have to again look back what we have seen. I said Arthadhyasa, Jnanadhyasa and all I have introduced. And I gave that English abbreviation like IV, CV1, CV2, IV1, IV2, P1, P2. So let us clarify once again. Let me clarify again. Because you understand this format only, you understand that Anirvachaniya Khyati very clearly. That's why deliberately I am repeating. It is not very easy to assimilate. Therefore, CV1, IV1 and PV1. What it means? CV1 is consciousness version number 1. CV1, consciousness version number 1. What is it? Which is the consciousness enclosed in the rope. Rajju avachinna chaitanyam, we gave the name CV1, consciousness version number 1, which enclosed in the rope. Okay, CV1. What about IV1? IV1 is ignorance version number 1. IV1, ignorance version number 1. The rope ignorance, which is located in consciousness. Rope ignorance, which is located in consciousness, is called IV1. Okay. Now P1, projection number 1. P1 is the projection of snake, sarpadhyasa. projection of snake caused by IV1, ignorance version number 1, which is located in CV1. Okay, so P1 is the projection of snake, sarpadhyasa, caused by IV1, which IV1 is located in CV1. So this is about CV1, IV1 and P1. Now this is one triad. Now come to parallelly you have to see CV2, IV2 and P2 version, second version. What is CV2? I said consciousness enclosed within the mind, antahkarana avachinna chaitanyam. Consciousness enclosed in the mind. That mind is in contact with rope. Consciousness enclosed in the mind, which mind is in contact with rope. This is called CV2. Then, and IV2. IV2 means ignorance version number 2, rope ignorance, which is located in CV2. IV2 located in CV2. Jnanadhyasa located in antahkarana avachinna chaitanyam. That's all. In CV2. So rope ignorance, which is located in CV2, is called IV2. Then third one is in the triad P2. P2 means projection number 2. Projection of sarpa vritti, that is jnanadhyasa. Sarpa vritti. So P1 is sarpadhyasa, P2 is jnanadhyasa. P2 is vritti, jnanadhyasa, which is caused by sarpa vritti, jnanadhyasa caused by IV2, which is located in CV2. P2 is caused by IV2, which is located in CV2. Okay. Now this CV1, IV1 and P1 and CV2, IV2 and P2. So arthadhyasa, jnanadhyasa, nothing else. Okay. Avachinna chaitanyam. Sarpa rajavachinna chaitanyam, antahkarana avachinna chaitanyam. All these Sanskrit words I put in this abbreviation. That's all. Now this, what is the ashraya? What is adhisthana? Two Sanskrit names we have to understand. Ashraya and adhisthana. Ashraya means support, base, adhara. Normally substratum is not correct word. Poojya Swami Dayānanda Saraswati never preferred to use substratum for adhishthanam. Therefore, adhishthanam means base or support or adhara. That is called ashraya. So P1 is projected by IV1 located in CV1. And P2 is projected by IV2 located in CV2. Okay. Now, this ashraya and adhishthanam we have to understand. What is that? What we saw? Mithya vastu cannot exist independently without original adhishthanam. Since ignorance is located in consciousness, consciousness said to be the locus of ignorance. We saw already this. How many of you remember? I do not know. That's why I am repeating. Since ignorance located in consciousness, consciousness is called as the locus of ignorance. Locus of ignorance. So IV1 located in CV1, IV2 is located in CV2. So IV1 located in CV1, CV1 is the ashraya of IV1. CV1, ignorance, where it is resting, where it is taking shelter, what is the ashraya? That is CV1 is the ashraya for IV1. Ignorance is taking rest. Rest means supported by consciousness. So CV1 locus, CV1 is the locus of IV1, CV2 is the locus of IV2. Ignorance version number 1 is located in consciousness version number 1. Ignorance version number 2 located in consciousness version number 2. Sarpadhyasa, arthadhyasa. Okay, ignorance means what? That ajnanam, that which is the cause for adhyasa. So CV1, CV2 is the ashraya of IV1 and IV2. I'll repeat. CV1, CV2 is the ashraya of IV1 and IV2 respectively. Respectively means CV1 is the ashraya for IV1, CV2 is the ashraya of IV2. Now, all projections being mithya, they are all required some adhishtanam. What is the adhishtanam? So this is about ashraya, over. Now, what is the adhishtanam? That adhishtanam or base or support, normally we say Rajju is the base support for Sarpa, snake, that rope snake. The rope snake, this rope snake appearing, I hope you are seeing this rope snake. This rope snake appearing, normally we say where it is appearing, what is the adhishtanam? The rope is the adhishtanam, normally we say. This is LKG Vedanta. In LKG Vedanta, we introduce the rope as the adhishtanam of this rope snake. But now Nischala Dasa is telling consciousness alone is the adhishtanam of everything. Consciousness alone is the adhishtanam of everything. Matter cannot be the adhishtanam. Rajju happens to be the matter, Jadavastu, inert. That cannot be the adhishtanam. It cannot have the adhishtanam status, because it is also mithya. For that, what he said, one mithya vastu cannot be the support or base for another mithya vastu. Rope snake is mithya. For that, can this rope which is mithya, can it be supported? Give support for that another mithya vastu? No. So, since rope also is mithya vastu, it cannot be the supporter of Rajju Sarpa. Clear? Therefore, what is the adhishtanam of rope snake and rope? If you ask, consciousness is the adhishtanam, he said. That we saw in the last class itself. So the mithya vastu itself is mithya, cannot be the supporter of another mithya vastu. That we saw in the last class. Now the CV1 is the adhishtanam of P1, CV2 is the adhishtanam of P2. CV2, consciousness version number 1, is the supporter, adhishtanam base for P1, projection number 1, Arthadhyasa, that is Sarpadhyasa. Consciousness version number 2, that is Antakarana-vachinna Chaitanyam, consciousness version number 2, is the Adhishtanam for not P1 but P2, Jnanadhyasa. So C1 is the Ashraya of IV1. So Ashraya and Adhishtanam we have to clearly understand. Adhishtanam and Ashraya. Okay, first two alphabets. CV1 is the Ashraya of IV1. When Ashraya word comes, CV1, IV1 should come. Who is supported by whom? That also must be very careful. Okay, you should not say IV1 is the Ashraya of CV1, you should not say. Okay, so CV1, that is consciousness version number 1, is the Ashraya of ignorance version number 1. Okay, IV1. Then CV1 is the Adhishtanam of P1. C1 is the Adhishtanam of P1. You can put in other way also. With respect to IV1, CV1 is called Ashraya. With respect to IV1, CV1 is called Ashraya. With respect to P1, projection number 1, with respect to P1, CV1 is called Adhishtanam. CV1 is said to be the Adhishtanam. Now we have to apply to again that version number 2 also same way. Same way means what? CV1 is the Ashraya of IV1. CV1 is the Adhishtanam of P1. Like that same way you apply to that another triad, second triad. What is that? CV2 is the Ashraya of IV2. CV2 is the Ashraya of IV2. CV2 is the Adhishtanam of P2. CV2 is the Adhishtanam of P2, Jnanadhyasa. So, with respect to IV2, CV2 is called Ashraya. With respect to IV2, CV2 is called as said to be Ashraya. With respect to P2, projection number 2, CV2 is known as Adhishtanam, support. When you talk about P1, P2, the word is Adhishtanam you have to use. When you talk about the P1, P2, the word Adhishtanam you have to use. When you talk about the word ignorance, you have to use the word Ashraya. Ashraya of ignorance is what? Adhishtanam of projection is what? If you ask like that, Adhishtanam of the two projections is CV1 and CV2, and Ashraya of IV1 and IV2 known as CV1 and CV2. Like that. So therefore, Adhyasasya Adhishtanam, Ajnanasya Ashraya. Sarpadhyasa, Jnanadhyasa, P1, P2. Adhyasasya Adhishtanam Chaitanyam. Ajnanasya Ashraya Chaitanyam. Sakshi Chaitanyam. That is the subject matter we are seeing. So Adhishtanam status. Now after this, what is the development further Nichiradasa did? Can this Adhishtanam status, why you are giving only to Chaitanyam, why not to the rope? That question may come. The words adhishtanam, ashraya now you have grasped. So that we can say finer distinction this is. In this portion, the finer distinction is done here. We are seeing CV1, CV2 or the adhishtanam. Now he wants to make another subtle distinction, that is, can the rope also included in adhishtanam status? The rope cannot be the adhishtanam, we said. Why you are telling only Chaitanyam? Why can't we include rope also? He said, rope itself cannot be the adhishtanam of snake, because rope itself is the mithya that he said. Therefore, we should say what? Consciousness alone has to be taken as the supporter of rope snake. Now you cannot say, see the next step. You cannot say mere consciousness alone is the cause, support of the snake. Only Kevala Chaitanyam alone is the cause for the snake appearance, you cannot say. Okay, mere consciousness alone cannot be the cause of a rope snake appearance. Why? Why? If consciousness alone is the cause for the appearance of rope snake, okay, consciousness alone is the cause for the appearance of rope snake. Everywhere I can see the snake, rope snake. Everywhere I can see. Why? Because consciousness is everywhere. If consciousness alone is the cause for the appearance of rope snake, everywhere I can see rope snake. Even on shell silver also, shell also I can see snake. On sand also I can see snake. If consciousness alone is the cause of snake, if therefore consciousness alone is not the cause, then suppose you want to say Keval Rajju is the cause for the arrival of appearance of snake. Kevala Rajju. Kevala Chaitanyam cannot be the cause of snake appearance. Can we take rope alone is the cause of snake appearance? That also you cannot take. Because rope cannot be the adhishtanam, therefore rope cannot be the cause for the appearance of rope snake. Then what is the cause for the appearance of rope snake? Rajju avachinna chaitanyam. That is consciousness enclosed within the rope is the adhishtanam. Rope alone is adhishtanam, you should not say, because it is mithya. Consciousness alone is adhishtanam, you should not say, because consciousness is all pervading. Therefore, that is also a problem. Therefore, adhishtanam, you can say, consciousness enclosed in the rope, within the rope is the adhishtanam of rope snake. In Sanskrit, we can say, Rajju upahita chaitanyameva adhishtanam bhavati. Rajju upahita chaitanyameva adhishtanam bhavati. That is what he has established in the last class. Here alone we are discussing the finer point, that is, can we say the consciousness enclosed in the rope is the adhishtanam? Consciousness enclosed in the rope is the adhishtanam. In this statement, this adhishtanam status belong to what? Now we have said consciousness alone cannot be the adhishtanam of rope snake. and rope alone cannot be the adhisthana of rope snake. Then what we said? Consciousness enclosed within the rope alone is the adhishthanam of rope snake appearance. Then a person can ask, therefore, why can't we take this adhishthanam status? Why can't we give to Chaitanyam also and rope also? Why can't we give? Anyhow, you have taken Rajju Avachinna Chaitanyam, that consciousness enclosed within the rope you have taken. So, what is the problem? Let us give the adhishthanam status for rope also and consciousness also. When you say consciousness enclosed in the rope is the adhishthanam status belong to whom? If you ask that question, what is that? What consciousness? Enclosed consciousness. Then what Nischal says, why can't you say Rajju Vishishta Chaitanyam? He used the word Vishishta Chaitanyam. The last word you see, last line, Rajju Vishishta Chaitanyam, Rajju Upahita Chaitanyameva Adhishthanam, Natu Rajju Vishishta Chaitanyam. What is this? Vishishta Chaitanyam. There I have stopped in the last class. Vishishta means along with. Vishishta means along with. These are all technical terms. You can just understand with this little slight translation in English translation. In Sanskrit, Rajju Upahita Chaitanyam is Adhishthanam, or Rajju Vishishta Chaitanyam is Adhishthanam. A question. Vishishta Chaitanyam means along with Rajju also. We can take Chaitanyam is Adhishthanam. Shall we include Rajju also while talking about Adhishthanam? Or Upahita Chaitanya means Avachinna Chaitanyam. Avachinna Chaitanyam means enclosed Chaitanyam within the rope. Avachinnam or Upahitam, both are synonymous. Synonyms only. Rope enclosed consciousness alone is the adhishthanam. When you ask the question, Upahita Chaitanyam is adhishthanam for rope snake, or Vishishta Chaitanyam is adhishthanam for rope snake, if you ask. Upahita Chaitanya means Rajju is excluded. Only Chaitanyam is adhishthanam. If you say Vishishta Chaitanyam, Rajju also included in adhishthanam status. That is not acceptable to us. The Acharya Nischal says enclosed consciousness is the adhishthanam. You cannot say the mixture. Mixture is another name for Vishishta. Okay. Mixture of what and what? Not any other mixture. Okay. Mixture of Chaitanyam plus rope. Mixture that is the mixture cannot be the adhishthanam. That means consciousness and rope mixture cannot be the adhishthanam of rope snake. Why? What is the logic? The logic, if you say mixture is the adhishthanam, you understand. If you say the mixture, that is Chaitanyam and Rajju, rope also is having the status adhishthanam, then both of them are getting adhishthanam status. Okay, rope also getting adhishthanam status. Therefore, the job of rope is not having the status of adhishthanam. The job of the rope is providing the enclosure. Providing enclosure to consciousness. Rajju Avachinna Chaitanyam. Consciousness enclosed within the rope. So rope provides that enclosure to consciousness. Served as a provider. Served as an enclosure. So rope does not serve as an adhishtanam, rope serve as an enclosure. To convey this finer point, last class, two examples. Even though that examples are not given here, that is very easy for us. Often in different places we saw those examples. If you understand those examples, you can understand this whole topic clearly. Let us go to the example. You know that example, space. Suppose you are all sitting in the chair in your house where you are sitting. You are sitting in the chair. Now, the space enclosed within the chair is accommodating you, or chair is accommodating you? Tell me. Chair, you are sitting in the chair where nobody is there on the chair, therefore space is there in that chair, you are sitting. If somebody is there already in that chair, there is no space for you to sit. So the space is available which is in the chair. In that space you are sitting, so space is accommodating you in the chair, or chair is accommodating you? The question. Both we can say, Swamini, chair also accommodating me, space within the chair also accommodating me. Let us take both then. You cannot say like that. Chair providing the enclosure to the space. Because kevala space, mere space, you cannot sit. You will fall down. So you need a chair or a cot, a chair, a bench, something that which enclosed. The space is enclosed. In the chair you sit. Therefore, is there space, you ask? Is there chair, you never ask? Is there space? That means you are sitting in the space only. So space only accommodating you. It's very simple. Therefore, mere chair can never exist without space. Space is there in the within the chair. So chair providing the enclosure to the space. The space is within the chair, enclosed space is providing, is giving, the accommodating you to sit. So kevala mere space also cannot accommodate you, and mere chair also cannot accommodate you without space. So let us take both now. You cannot take both. Only one you can take, that is chair can never accommodate. Accommodating capacity, chair avachinna akashaha eva accommodates you. That is about chair and akasha. Now let us go to pot space. The space available in the pot. Okay, now you are able to see the pot. Kevala, the space which is enclosed within the pot alone hold the water. Water held by the pot. Pot job is not holding the water. Pot job is only to provide the enclosure to the space. Carefully listen. These are all we are going to use in Dashtanta. If you miss here, you will miss there also. No, Swamini, this is difficult, Swamini. I will come when Atma topic comes. You can never understand Atma topic alone. You understand this. Ghata avachinna akasha. Ghata avachinna akasha. Akasha enclosed in this pot, enclosed space alone is holding the water. Pot cannot hold the water. Really speaking, space which is within the pot holding the water. Suppose I pour water separately here, water will flow down. That water you cannot drink. But here, that water, where that in that space. Which space? What type of space? That space which is enclosed in the pot. Clear? Therefore, space alone is having the accommodating power. Water also accommodated by the space only. But space alone cannot hold the water. So enclosed space alone can accommodate the person to sit. Enclosed space alone can hold water, milk or anything. So ghata upahita akashaha jalam dharayati. Ghata upahita akashaha jalam dharayati. It holds the water. So now the final question is, can you say pot accommodate water? Question number 1. Question number 2. Can you say space accommodate water? Or can you say space and pot both can accommodate water? Pot space and pot both accommodate water. Three answers are wrong. Space alone cannot accommodate water. Pot alone cannot accommodate water. And space and pot together cannot accommodate water. Then what accommodate water? Pot enclosed space alone can accommodate water. That enclosed is very important. Enclosed is very important. So therefore, you cannot say pot accommodate water, because other than space, nothing can accommodate anything. You cannot say space alone can accommodate water. Also, you cannot say if you pour water in the space without any holder of water, it will go waste. Because if you say mixture is also, we can take, that is also not possible, because accommodation power is there only for the space. Will not go to the pot. It will go only to the space enclosed, pot enclosed space. So this is the answer. Mixture also you cannot say. So finally, what is that accommodating water? Space enclosed within pot alone accommodating the water. Space enclosed within the pot accommodate water. That means, what is the job of pot? Pot is providing the enclosure to the space. Pot is providing enclosure to the space. Pot has got enclosure status. Enclosure providing status. The provider of enclosure. It doesn't have accommodating status. Okay, this is Drishtanta. Okay, now we have to come to Dashtanta. Similarly, consciousness alone is not the adhishtanam of Ropsnik. You have to apply. Then only I will go to the next line. We will continue. Without consolidating this, if I go on and on, you cannot get head and tail at all. Okay, consciousness alone is not the adhishtanam. Now this is Dashtanta. Okay, space Drishtanta over. Space, chair, pot space, water examples are over. For your easy understanding sake, I have used those two examples. Nischala Dasa has not mentioned in this place those examples. He has mentioned different place. Now we have to recollect that example in this place. Okay, so that you can easily grasp. For this Dashtanta, what is our topic now? Consciousness alone is not the adhishtanam of rope snake. Point number 1. Rope alone also cannot be the adhishtanam of rope snake. Third one is what? Rope and consciousness mixture also cannot be the adhishtanam of rope snake. Then what? Consciousness alone is also not the adhishtanam of rope snake. And rope alone is also not the adhishtanam of rope snake. And rope consciousness mixture also cannot be the adhishtanam of Ropsunikana. Who is the adhishtanam? Enclosed consciousness. What enclosed? Consciousness enclosed within the rope, that is CV1. Consciousness, Rajju avachinna chaitanyam. Consciousness enclosed within the rope CV1 alone is the adhishtanam of rope snake. Rope snake means what? P1. So P1 adhishtanam is CV1 because that alone can be the adhishtanam. Once this is understood, Nischala Dasa extend this to the argument of CV2 also. Now he is talking about CV2, how consciousness is the adhishtanam of P2. So consciousness, enclosed consciousness. So we have to apply the 3 points again. Consciousness alone cannot be the adhishtanam of P2. Okay, CV2 alone cannot be the adhishtanam of P2. Antakaranam alone, mind alone cannot be the adhishtanam of P2. P2 means jnanadhyasa, sarpajnanam. And mind and consciousness mixture also cannot be the adhishtanam of rope snake. Okay, those three what we have seen for CV1 and P1, you have to apply same IV2 and P2. So therefore consciousness enclosed within the mind, there Rajju avachinna chaitanyam for ardhadhyasa. Here antakaranam, antakarana avachinna chaitanyam alone. That means mind, which is the enclosure, providing enclosure for consciousness, which is called CV2. Antakarana avachinna chaitanyam is called CV2. That alone is the adhishtanam of P2, jnanadhyasa, sarpajnanam. So what, Swamini, why all this? Therefore, in both places, that is in P1 and P2, Visishta Chaitanyam is adhishtanam, you should not say. That is what he said. Visishta Chaitanyam na. Visishta Chaitanyam means along with the rope you should not come to give the adhishtanam status. You should say only avachinna chaitanyam or upahita chaitanyam alone is the adhishtanam. Visishta chaitanya means carrying the rope also for adhishtanam status. Visishtana, what I said, along with the rope. No, because rope is mithya. You cannot include that. Therefore what you have to understand, thus we have concluded up to here P1 and P2. CV1 is the adhishtanam for P1, CV2 is the adhishtanam for P2. Not mixture, not kevala Rajju or kevala Chaitanya. Also enclosed is very important. Let us go to the next paragraph. Why? This whole thing, if it is clear, the rest of the portion also will be clear. Now I'll read the next line. That's last line, end. Tatha sarpadi jnanam jnanasyapi sakshi chaitanya chaitanyamevadhishtanam itham sarvatra brahmasthale vishayasya tad jnanasya cha upadhibhedadhishtanam vidyate natu ekam vishesharupena rajyorajnanam yatha avidyayam kshobhotpadanadvara sarpaditadjnanasya cha karanam tatha vishesharupena rajjujnanam tadubhayo nirvritti karanam bhavati. Let us see now. See, kevala Rajju kevala Chaitanyam cannot be the cause. That ajnanam has to come. Ajnanam also required. there. Ignorance of rope alone is the cause for rope snake. Without ignorance, Maya, that heroine is not there, erroneous perception can never take place. How it happens? Yatadha sarpadi jnanasyapi. So sarpa adhyasa up to here over now. Okay, P1 over. Now P2 also sarpadi jnanasyapi jnanadhyasasyapi sakshi chaitanyameva adhishtanam. So sakshi chaitanyam alone is adhishtanam bhavati. What sakshi chaitanyam? Antakarana upahita chaitanyam. Itham, in this manner, page number 86, top line. Itham, in this manner, sarvatra brahmasthali. Every erroneous perception, in every erroneous perception, wherever wrong perception is going on, sarvatra, brahma means delusion. In that place, vishayasya tad jnanasya. Vishayasya means P1 and tad jnanasya means P2. Okay, tad jnanasya. For P1 and for P2, upadhi bhedat. Upadhi bheda is there. There Rajju is the upadhi, where arthadhyasa in P2, P1 place. In P2, antakaranam, mind is the upadhi. Upadhi bhedat adhishtanam vidhyate. See, adhishtanam means what? There CV1, here CV2. Okay, there Rajju avachinna chaitanyam adhishtanam. Here antakarana upahita chaitanyam is the adhishtanam vidyate. But conscious is not two. Chaitanyams are not two. Only one only. But Akasha is one. But because of upadhi, ghata avachinna akasha, matha avachinna akasha. Upadhi bhedat, two akashas, spaces, as though. Like that here also, with regard to Chaitanyam also, upadhi bhedat. Upadhi bheda means you should know that there Rajju, here Antakaranam. Two upadhis are there. So CV1, CV2. Rajjavachinna Chaitanyam CV1, Antakaranavachinna Chaitanya CV2. That's why two versions we say. Two Chaitanyams we never said. Two versions of Chaitanyams. Natu ekam, they are not one, but one, two only. Natu ekam adhishtanam parantu adhisthana dvayam, as it were. Okay. Vishesha rupena. Now he is going to talk about the role of ajnanam. Just like that consciousness and rope, they will not cause erroneous perception. In between, this Maya has to come. That is ajnanam vishesha rupena, specifically rajjoho ajnanam. You see, ignorance of rope is the cause. That is IV1 and IV2. IV1 antakaranam, and there also IV1, IV2. Yatha avidyayam kshobaha utpadana dvara. Shobha means, I said, avarana and vikshepa, activation. Ajnanam, rajjoho ajnanam, the ignorance of the rope is there, tatha. When it is there, yatha avidyayam, when avidyayam, in avidya, in ignorance, kshobaha utpadana dvara. This ignorance does what? Concealing the rope. This I am ignorant of rope. Okay, what happens then? Sarpadir tad jnanasya. So once I am ignorant of rope, sarpa jnanam comes. Sarpa and sarpa jnanam. Sarpa vishaya and sarpa jnanam in the antakaranam. Sarpa vishaya bahyam, sarpa jnanam antah. Therefore, sarpadi tad jnanasya means P1 and P2. Arthadhyasa and jnanadhyasa, both. Karanam bhavati. Bhavati you have to supply. In the above second line also, natu ekam adhishtanam, you have to supply. Natvekam is there, natu ekam adhishtanam. Here also, karanam bhavati. Sarpadi rajju jnanasya, sarpadhyasa and jnanadhyasa. Karanam, what? Kshobhaha, activation. Of what? Because of what? Ajnanam. Whose ajnanam? Rajju ajnanam. Karanam bhavati, full stop. Tatha, similarly, vishesha rupena rajju jnanam. Once the rajju jnanam comes, suppose somebody brought torchlight. Afterwards, what happened? Rajju jnanam bhavati. Once you put torchlight upon that rope snake, snake disappears. Rope jnanam, rajju jnanam. Tadubhayoho nirvritti karanam bhavati. Tadubhayoho means what? Sarpadhyasa and jnanadhyasa, both. That means sarpa also disappears. Sarpa jnanam which is there in the mind, antahkaranam also will go away. Nivritti karanam bhavati. What karanam? Nivritti karanam means removal. The cause for the removal, elimination of that ignorance of that rope removes that rope snake also and rope snake knowledge also. Both are wrong. That is what happens in that knowledge. Up to here, what Ajnanam does. Ajnanam role, no? The role of Ajnanam, what does that Ajnanam do until now? It is over. Until now, what does Ajnanam do? Ajnanam does this only. Avarana Shakti, Vikshepa Shakti, and it create some other object and confuse us. Sarpa, Sarpa Bhramti, Sarpa Bhraya comes. Once the torchlight you put, Sarpa Dhyasa goes away, Sarpa Rajju Jnanam comes. Now the topic is, what does the Jnanam do? What does Ajnanam do over until now? Now what does the Jnanam do here? Now I will read that portion, just I will introduce. Topic 150 to 159, the discussion is going to come. Atrakshepa samadhanani rajjujnanena sarpanivrittihi na syat iti akshepaha nanu rajjvadignanena na sarpadi nivarteta mithya vastunaha yadadishtanam tadjnanenaiva mithya vastu nivarteta iti Advaita Siddhantaha. Now Purvapakshi comes. In the heading he has given Atra. Atra means in this format. In this format means CV1, CV2, IV1, IV2, P1, P2. In this format, Akshepa Samadhanani. Akshepa means objection. Purvapakshi's objection. For that Samadhanani, answer is going to come. Nischal is going to give answer. What is the Akshepa first? In 150, topic 150, the 4 lines only Purvapakshi, 5 lines. What Purvapakshi is attacking us, what we said that he alone repeating and telling Rajju Jnanam is not possible. Rajju Jnanena Sarpa Adhyasam na nivartayate, he says. Rajju Jnanena, by the knowledge of rope, Sarpa Nivrittihi, the elimination of that rope snake, nasyat, it is not possible. Iti akshepaha, this is the objection. Nanu, here, Your Honor, I have an objection, like that, like a court. Nanu, what he is explaining. This is the heading. What is not possible, why it is not possible. He says, Rajvadi Jnanena, by rope knowledge, na sarpadi nivarteta. Sarpadi means sarpa arthadhyasa and jnanadhyasa, adipadat. na nivarteta, cannot be eliminated. Why? Mithyavastunaha yad adhishtanam, you said sarpa rajju jnanam eliminates sarpadhyasa. You are telling, you didn't accept that rajju as an adhishtanam. Mithyavastunaha, you said what is asking us, rajju is the mithyavastu. Mithyavastunaha yad adhishtanam tad jnanena mithyavastu nivarteta iti advaita siddhantah. Mithyavastunaha yad adhishtanam tad jnanenaiva. So mithyavastu jnanam, mithyavastunaha jnanam mithyavastu nivarteta iti advaita siddhantaha. This sentence I have to explain more elaborately. I will do that in the next class. Purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.